Banking conditions in the Ninth Federal Reserve District were mixed in the third quarter of 2016. Hi, my name is Ron Feldman. I'm the Executive Vice President for Banking Supervision and Regulation here at the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis. And today I'm going to talk about banking conditions in the Ninth District in the third quarter of 2016. Before I get started, let me give you a little bit more detail on the Ninth District. We consist of the states of Minnesota, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, the western portion of Wisconsin, and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And there's a lot more detail on banking conditions on our website, so I encourage you to go to the link that's shown. In terms of the results for the third quarter, it was mixed, and by that what I mean is we're going to be looking at three main measures of banking performance. We're going to look at profitability, we're going to look at loan growth, and we're going to look at the level of problem assets. And as you'll see, they did not move in the same direction. So profitability was generally up a bit from the second quarter. So in the third quarter, it was a little bit higher than it was in the second quarter of 2016. But if you look across all the states, you'll see that it varied quite a bit. And then in contrast, bank loans are still growing, but they're not growing at the same rate that they were growing before. So while both profitability and bank loans are improving in some sense, they're not really improving by the same amount. And finally, problem loans were falling. Again, generally an improvement, but not by the same amount relative to profitability or loan growth. So let me give you three examples of each of these. So first, let's go to the state of North Dakota, and let me explain what you're looking at in this graph. So the blue dashed line is the long-term average. The blue line that's actually showing each of the observations, you can see it moving up and down over the period. And then finally on the far right, as you're looking at it, is a barbell, and that's the forecast I made for this particular measure, for this particular state at the end of last year. And here you can see that North Dakota banks, the median bank in the state at least, has its profitability up, but just a bit. It's still within the range of the forecast. But again, this is typically what you would see for the states in our district. What about for South Dakota loan growth? So here you're seeing a decline, which is worse. I picked South Dakota because the decline was very large. But it's important to note that even though there's a decline in the level of loan growth is still positive. So loan growth is still at 4%, but you can see last quarter it was closer to 6%. Again, typically what we saw in the district. And then finally, in terms of problem loans, we saw some improvement. Here you're looking at the state of Montana. You can see that relative to historic levels, it's much lower. It's within the forecast range, but the main point is relative to last quarter, there were fewer problem loans in the third quarter than there were in the second. That's an improvement. Again, so I would say a generally positive view, but one that's pretty mixed across states and across measures. Thank you.